What's good, everybody? I would like to welcome you to the first pilot episode of Read and React. You want to know what Read and React is? It's a show between bros where we come together, talk about the latest headlines, all the latest news, and it's deeper than just sports. We talk about music, politics, anything that's going on in the world that we find interesting and we want to give time of day to talk about. We dissect it. The show started off as a segment in one of our shows for R1P, Real Ones Productions. And speaking of R1P, make sure that you're following us on our Twitch, our social at Real Ones Productions. Also, make sure you're following us on all our social medias at real.1s on Instagram and Real Ones on Twitter to stay connected with our movement. But the core of the show is we give you real, unfiltered, unapologetic takes about how we feel to the core. And we read a headline, we react to it, and y'all get a chance to experience our conversations behind the scenes. So, with that being said, I am Moonvibes. I'm joined by Leverett KT and my boy Jalen The Journalist, Jalen Wilson, who is really a Bears fan. He just don't want to admit it though. But by the time this podcast is done, we're gonna get him to admit that he's really a Bears fan. With that being said, I pass it off to KT. What's going on, my boy? Jalen, what's going on, my boy? How you feeling?
Hey, what's good, man? Everything is good, man. Life is beautiful, brother.
Life is truly beautiful. Hey, Jalen, how you doing today, bro?
I'm doing good. Got done did some homework earlier. Did good on some quizzes, so I'm feeling good.
How's class been going this semester?
Class has been going well. Besides the teacher not correcting the grades how they should be. Like right now, I got a 36 out of 841 in the class, but I don't know how that happened.
You going straight for a juggler as we open the episode. You're not playing no games, bro. KT, how's everything been in your world, man? I know you've been dealing with a lot lately.
Man, hey, dealing with a lot is absolutely correct, but everything good, man. I feel like you try to remember people uh, for the good times. You don't really try to dwell on what's going on. And they would like you to just maintain and so staying busy, staying focused. Release the debut episode of Leverett Analytics. And I'm
Yes,
excited
sir.
to do the pilot episode, read and react as well.
And speaking of Lever Analytics, you do not want to miss that. KT does a phenomenal job breaking down everything that's going on behind the scenes. She really goes deep into the surface, breaking down the analytics in the game for the NBA, NFL. And you can tune in and listen to that on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I'm trying to get that link on title too on time for the one time. But yeah, speaking of that, KT, is it cool if this first episode, this debut episode, is dedicated to all the people that we lost, bro?
Hey, yes, sir. I wouldn't rather
Yeah.
have it any other way, man.
With that being said, we'd like to welcome you to Read and React, and I'll pass it out to KT. You can get it started, bro.
Alrighty, man. Read and react. Everybody who's tuning in, you can read and react with us, whether you're in your car, listening to this on your phone or on your computer. Hey, react with us. Tate Martell entering the transfer portal again. I gotta hear Mr. Jalen Antonio's reaction to this one. Jalen, Tate Martell, transfer portal. How you feel?
Keep it a
I feel
buck,
like
bro. Go ahead. Keep it a buck.
I feel like he should go a JUCO route. He's not. He's clearly not good enough to be a Power 5 quarterback, or at least that's what I think. I mean, when you're not starting over in the coaching period your first year, Miami, I don't know what that should tell you, but and they want to switch you to wide receiver. Like, come on, man, you're not a Power 5. You're not a Power 5 quarterback, starting caliber at least. And my initial reaction to it was it was it was laughter because Katie, I told you this earlier, but he was clowning Justin Fields because Justin Fields transferred to Ohio State, and Tate Martell was like, in some tweets, he said, "Don't swing and miss twice." And then he said, "The grass ain't always green on the other side." Well, now he swung and missed twice, and the grass clearly ain't always green on the other side, at least for him.
Yep.
Wow. Moon, go ahead.
Well, he's a former four-star recruit, and he's on the move again, taking his talents elsewhere from the University of Miami. Um, it's kind of discouraging because this transfer portal, it's a lot of names jumping off in there, man. I was watching Coach Primetime at Jackson State. We're gonna talk about him a little bit later. But I was watching him on Instagram. He was talking about, man, that thing is jumping. Like, you gotta get in there. If you want to come to Jackson State, hey, Tate Martell, if you want to go to Jackson State, Coach Prime might be looking for you. But then again, he might be like, look, you went to Miami, you went to Ohio State. It's kind of tough. But he initially committed to Washington and head coach Steve Sarkisian back in 2012 before he was even in the 8th grade. And then he eventually decommit and then verbally commit to Texas A&M, where he was compared to the likes of Johnny Manziel, which is kind of tough. But based on him being a journeyman quarterback, it's like he seems like can't get right. Martell, he didn't even see the field for Texas A&M, which is discouraging. Then Urban Meyer recruited him at Ohio State in class of 2016, and coming out, he was the number 2 dual threat quarterback of the class of 2017 out of Bishop Gorman High School in Las Vegas, which is high profile high school. Now, when he signed to Ohio State, he was a backup for Dwayne Haskins, and Jalen talked about the headlines he made, so it's kind of like incredibly awkward that we're having this conversation right now. Honestly, if you're already a journeyman in college, what makes me think that you're not about to be a journeyman in the NFL? Fellas, if we're just keeping it a buck and we can all say yay or nay at the same time on the count of 3, does Tate Martell make it to the NFL? 1, 2, 3.
No.
All right, so we all on the same page. But it's kind
Yeah.
of it's kind of tough. Like, I think that we can't really be too hard on him because he's just looking at what's happened before him. If you look at Joe Burrow, for instance, who entered transfer portal. A lot of quarterbacks enter transfer portal. And I think that where he messed up is just not being patient, not wanting to wait his turn. And I think these kids want to get they want to play so much. And I get it. This is what you're going to college for, or at least you think that is. But Tate Martell, at this rate, bro, you might as well just focus on getting your degree and getting that paperwork with you. And because right now, I don't know how attractive you are as far as like the market, and it really don't matter what school you go to. I have faith that their backup quarterback is going to probably be better than you, and that's kind of sad, bro. But yeah, that's my reaction to it. Laughter, but a little bit of sorrow too. Like, dang, should he have stayed at Ohio State? If he would have stayed at Ohio State, does Justin Fields still transfer? Could he have beat out Justin Fields? Can't really beat out N'Kosi Perry, so that's kind of tough. But KT, how do you feel about this, bro?
I don't. Tate Martell is Van Wilder. I really have no. I don't know how to feel. I think if you look at his talent, dating back to the QB1 days, he has the talent, but what's always been under the microscope is his leadership. And a lot of times in college football, if the old ball coach don't believe that you can lead this team to the promised land, they will not start you, whether you are the most talented or not. So by this point, he should be humbled. I think what Jalen was saying earlier, was Tate Martell was just saying that out of fear. I don't know, but Tate Martell in the transfer portal is not surprising. At some point, he has to beat out somebody, and what Jalen alluded to earlier, maybe he should considering going to a smaller school.
Do you think that the lights got to his head? When I say the lights, I mean like the reality documentary QB1, Beyond the Lights. Do you think him being thrusted into the public eye like that made him start to move differently and get away from himself and that leadership thing, that leadership core that he's aspiring to be? or aspiring to have?
Yeah, I don't know if it made him change, but what I can say, what reality television does is if you are not true to yourself, if you aren't ready for these bright lights in front of you, it can bring out the worst in you. And I feel like that's what that did. It made him probably believe he was better than he probably is, and it just brought out the worst in him.
Well, you know how you said don't swing and miss, especially not your second time. Well, buddy, you batting your batting average is it's not the best right now, my guy. It's kind of a tough road. But another quote, and I have to make sure I got the right source for that. He says, "Why would I leave for someone who hasn't put in a single second into this program?" He said, "To just run away from somebody who hasn't put a single second into workouts, anything like that, and doesn't know what the program is all about. There's not a chance. I will be the starting quarterback. I am 100% sure on that. I am not just going to walk away from something I put so much time into, and there's not a chance that I won't go out there and compete for that." Less than 2 weeks later, he entered the transfer portal and left to be the top guy at Miami, or he hoped to be. Enter De'Aaron King, and he's been balling out. And he transferred from Houston and became the dark horse Heisman Trophy contender. And that happened in 2020. But also, he was the third string quarterback behind Jaron Williams and N'Kosi Perry in 2019. And they tried to switch his position. I'll just say this: pride comes before the fall, my guy. And I think that the transport portal can't save you from having to look into the mirror and ask yourself, like, you know, who am I? What am I about? What do I stand 10 toes down on? And for him, let's just hope it happens sooner than later.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
He needs to humble himself. Tate Martell, if you listen, you need to humble yourself. I think QB1 messed him up. That show, that reality TV show messed him up because KT or Moon, I don't know if one of y'all remember this, but he was talking trash about another quarterback that committed to Texas A&M. He was like, "Man, I'm better than him, blah, blah, blah. They shouldn't even offer him a scholarship." I don't remember that quarterback's name. Do any of y'all remember him?
Kyler Murray?
No, it was after Kyler.
After Kyler?
Yeah, I don't remember that quarterback's name, but I think he played for Hawaii. He transferred and played for Hawaii now. That quarterback has now thrown more passing yards than him, more passing touchdowns than him. Like, the reality TV show messed him up.
Got to be more careful. Stay humble, my guy. Yeah, I think y'all have any other comments for him?
Nah.
All right. Well, on to the next one.
All righty. Read and react. Georgia versus Clemson. Headlines, Super Week 1 games with the ACC and SEC kind of matchup. I'm going to set the stage here. So the projected losses for Clemson is Trevor Lawrence, of course, probably will be the number one player selected in the 2021 NFL draft. Travis Etienne, Amari Rodgers, Darion Kendrick, Balin Spector, Nolan Turner, and offensive tackle Jackson Carman. But they did get some key additions with some freshmen this year. They did get linebacker Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Does that name ring a bell? Pedigree. Father was Jeremiah Trotter, who played for the Philadelphia Eagles. Also got running back Will Shipley, defensive tackle Peyton Page, and wide receiver Bo Collins. Hopefully I said that correctly. Georgia, they're going to be losing some pieces too. I'm not going to say Georgia deserved to be in a college football playoff. After seeing what Notre Dame did, I feel like anybody else deserved to be in a college football playoff. And I know Jalen will have some form of remark to that. But projected losses for Georgia will be Ben Cleveland, AZ's, or I ain't gonna even butcher his last name, linebacker Monty Rice, linebacker Jermaine Johnson, cornerback my cousin Eric Stokes. I'm playing, that's not really my cousin. Cornerback Tyson Campbell, safety Richard LeConte, defensive end Malik Herring, and center Trey Hill. They also got some key additions this year. They got Keely Ringo, receiver Dominic Blaylock, athlete Samuel Mondin. Be interested to see what Georgia ended up putting him. Offensive tackle Amarius Mims, athlete Xavier Sori, and quarterback Brock Vandergrift. Read and react. Georgia versus Clemson, week 1. Moon vibes, go.
Harris Johnson, hashtag unfinished business. JT Daniels, hashtag unfinished business. Justin Schaefer, hashtag unfinished business. This whole team, hashtag unfinished business. At this point, I'm gonna be sad to see LeCount go specifically because he grew up in the same area that I did, South Georgia. But this game, you know how Dabo has a history of like he has a history of trying to defend his team schedules, especially earlier in the year. With the lack of competition that they play, at least they don't play the teams that Alabama does. But peep this, the Georgia schedule as follows. Because I'm gonna talk deeper than just the Clemson game, and I'm gonna tell you why. So we start off September 4th, Clemson Tigers. I think it's in Charlotte. Whole fin advantage goes to the Tigers. At least you would think. Then we play UAB Blazers, South Carolina at home, which kind of makes me nervous after our last couple of stretches with South Carolina. They always seem to play us kind of tough. At Vandy, Arkansas at home. Then we go to Auburn for the rivalry game. Then we go to we have Kentucky Wildcats on our schedule. Then we get a bye. Then we got the world largest cocktail party. I don't even want to mention their names. Then we got play Mizzou, who has a very favorable schedule, especially in the SEC East. We play at Tennessee, which is the game that I'm kind of worried about, and I know it's like, well, why? But I'll talk about that in a later episode. Charleston Southern, and then we close the season with Georgia Tech. Now, based on that schedule, it seems like it looks like a cakewalk. It looks like a cakewalk. It feels like a cakewalk. I'm not saying that it will be, but for hashtag unfinished business, it's gonna be that year. Now if you enjoy watching Georgia, and like I do, then you have to buckle up because we're gonna take on some of the nation's best. We play Clemson, Oklahoma, and Ohio State over the next couple of years. And the two games that I'm looking forward to is the Clemson versus Georgia game and the Georgia versus Florida game. Now, you know, the SEC East divisional championship really comes down to that Florida versus Georgia game. But the fact that it's a non-conference game to open the season, it gives Georgia the perfect breeding ground to start the season off hot. Now, if we do happen to fold under the pressure and we can't win, because it's kind of realistic, I don't doubt that Kirby will have our boys ready, but at the same time, like, you got to factor in Dabo is going through the loss, and it's not like it's a huge loss. Clemson's quarterback, his name is not ringing the bell right now, but the game that he came in and played, or the little stretch that he came in to play this year when Trevor Lawrence was dealing with all his injuries / I think it was COVID, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
So he really impressed me. Now, if Trevor Lawrence somehow pulls a shocker and says that, you know what, scratch this NFL life, I'm gonna come back to school. I don't know if it's too late for that. Then I'll be kind of worried. But now, since I know that's a long shot, the Tigers are going to probably enter in the discussion. You know, we begin to cake and cake in the words of Jay-Z. Listen, I could talk about this game all day. Well, I kind of want to hear what you guys had to say about it. I'm really not getting caught up on it. I just hope that we wear the black jerseys and we shut them up on in their home. I don't really call it their home state, but I guess it's the Carolinas, so I guess they claim it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. And a final score prediction already. I say Georgia wins 34-21.
Jalen, how do you feel about this matchup?
I feel good for Clemson. JT Daniels is the quarterback that can beat you over top if you ask me. He has really limited arm strength. Also, another thing I feel is that it could be DJ's breakout game, I guess you could say. I mean, yeah, he played super great against Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe who the other team, Boston College, if I'm not mistaken.
Boston.
But it's like, okay, now let's see you face these teams that Bama face. We want to see how you fare against them. So it also tells me that, you know, this is his, I don't like I don't want to say true first test, but I want to say it's a harder test than the Notre Dame game, if you ask me. Kirby
Can I ask you a
Smart,
question, Jalen?
yeah.
When I named to you Clemson's schedule, do you think that Georgia will be the toughest game that they play all year? Like just right off the bat, though.
You didn't name Notre Dame in that schedule, right?
Notre Dame wasn't in the schedule.
Yeah, it's soft. That schedule is soft. But the ACC is soft. So this is also telling me that, you know, maybe they're trying to, Clemson is trying to schedule this game to be like, oh, look, we beat and I'm guessing Georgia's going to be a top at least 10 team by the end of the rankings. Oh, look, we be a top 10 team. We should be in the playoffs.
They'll be a top 5 team.
I don't know about all that.
Go ahead, talk KT.
They will be a top 5 team. But you can continue.
Okay. So it tells me that they're just trying to be like, okay, at least we beat one good team, you know, but we don't got to play other good teams. Like the ACC is a weak conference. Like out of the Power 5 conferences, who you have? SEC, Big 10, Big 12, Pac 12, and the ACC, right? Or am I forgetting one?
It's really not even a Power 5. It's not even a Power 5. It's a Power 2.
So it's like, it's telling me that, like, you know, the ACC, if you ask me, is the worst conference out of the Power 5 conference.
Worse than the
Pac-12. Yeah, I'll say the Pac-12 has better teams. Better, like Clemson would be a top dog in the Pac-12, of course, but like you talk about middle of the Pac teams and the teams that aren't like really that good, the Pac-12 is still better than them.
That's a great take. I feel like my favorite conference to watch is the Big 10. Believe it or not, they just got 2 weak teams, really weak teams with Rutgers, and you're fighting Illini.
Chill out.
I've been sir. I'm not even trying. You know, I ain't taking no shots, brother. I really mean that. Those teams just make that conference look bad. But it's a new day for the Illini. I think they'll get to a bowl game this year. But so Moon said it's a Power 2.
Yeah.
So explain more. I already know what Power 2 you're thinking about, but I want our audience to know who are the Power 2 conferences for you. And then Jalen, I want you to rebuttal after that because I know you have an issue with that statement.
Power 2, SEC, Big 10. That's where the money is. That's where the head coaches get paid. That's where the best recruits go. Now Big 12, Pac-12.
I was about to say, what about you? Ain't got no love. You ain't got no love for the Big 12. Nope.
Does the committee have love for the Big 12 or the Pac-12? I mean, they have more love for the Big 12.
Big 12,
they have more.
Yes.
I'm talking about outside of Oklahoma. Outside of Oklahoma.
Outside of Oklahoma? Nah. They don't.
And then we look at the Pac-12.
Hey, that's a great point.
And if we look at the Pac-12, if you take outside of who, I was about to say Oregon, but nah.
Nobody thinking about the Pac-12.
Arizona State.
Think about the Oregon. Think about the crazy Ducks. But yeah, that's why I just look at it. If you look at the coaches with the highest salaries, they all belong in either the SEC. If you take out Dabo, they either belong in the SEC or the Big Ten. You look at the best recruits.
So you really think it's a power 2 and not a power 1?
Look at the college football playoff and tell me otherwise. And the reason why it's just like at the end of the day, we know that one team from the Big Ten and one team from the SEC is going to make the college football playoff every year that they have it. Period. It's like, and then I know we've had our years where it hasn't worked out that way, but based on what I've seen, it's like power 2, and it's kind of like, you know how you have a girl and you'd be like, she'll be asking you to go out on a date and stuff, and it's like, why why you don't want to take me out? Why you don't want to show me off? And it's just like, well, I'm trying, sweetheart. I'm trying. It's like, nah, you're not trying. If you was trying, then show me the money. You should put your money where your mouth is. Well, that's what I'm saying. The committee and NCAA as a whole, outside of Alabama is the team that everybody's chasing, and they're gonna be chasing for a while.
The Jets are chasing Alabama.
So are the Detroit Lions, but it's like SEC, Big Ten. That's where the money is right now. And we talk about revenue. The NCAA wants the Big Ten and the SEC to make it there because that's where they can get rewarded as far as profit. Tell me right now that if we had no SEC or no STC or Big Ten teams that made it to the college football playoff, are y'all watching?
Not really.
That's the up north, and then that's the down south. The two areas in this whole United States where they take football, I guess you could say it's most serious. Now they don't take football serious at Illinois. They don't care about football. But they care about Jordan and the Bulls or what the white. Y'all care about the White Sox, Jalen?
The
Like
Cubs.
the White Sox, the Cubs,
The Cubs and Cardinals.
Cubs, Cardinals. Well, I'm sorry to say this, Jalen, but listen, y'all at the bottom of the Big Ten, but y'all still have a better chance of making the college football playoff if y'all win out or even have a decent record. And let's say y'all beat Ohio State and Michigan, and y'all run it up and beat Michigan State too. In a miracle year, y'all have a better chance to make the college football playoff than a team like USC or UCLA or Arizona's of the world or even the TCU's of the world. Like y'all have a better chance. Don't even get me started on the ACC. Clemson, I don't even know what their schedule is like right now, but I do know what it's like. But it's cake.
But Moon, whether we like it or not, the ACC got 2 teams in this past college football playoff.
Notre Dame don't belong in the ACC.
Yeah, they were just there because of COVID rules.
If we talking geographically, Notre Dame really belongs in the Big Ten.
In the Big Ten, right? But they are in the ACC as far as basketball is concerned. Football, they were just a part of it, like Jalen said, due to COVID. So I have a bold take with this read and react for this particular segment. Winner of this Jordan Clemson game, which I think will be Georgia. I think Clemson. This DJ, I wanna like him. I think he's a solid quarterback, but it reminds me of a bridge year with Kelly. Y'all remember that whole debacle? I just don't. I don't see it for Clemson this year. So I say winner of this game will automatically be in the college football playoff. So that means that, in my opinion, that Georgia will be in the college football playoff next year.
No, I can't say that because
Georgia
still have to run into Bama.
That's if we play. Okay.
Georgia had to run into Bama first. I mean, well, not first, but after that,
they can lose to Bama. They'll be in the college football playoff.
Mm-hmm. Like we can lose to Bama, but let's say Clemson loses to Georgia, right? When's the ACC? We still got to knock over them. That we beat them earlier the year. Plus, the schedule is off.
Hey, if it comes down to that, the committee going with Clemson.
Why? Because they're the favorite? Because of Dabo?
Because they're the money team.
I mean, you mean head coaches getting the bag. You mean that money?
I'm talking about revenue, like bringing in the money.
Oh, okay. Well, with that point, they're the only team in the ACC that's just worthy. I feel like right now of the money being a money team in the ACC. And yeah, I do feel like they could translate over. You put Clemson in any conference, outside of the ACC, they would be competitive for sure. But you can't knock. I mean, you can't go against the fact that they have a cupcake schedule compared to Georgia. Now we lucked up, and of course we got to play Florida every year, but we lucked up not having to play Bama in the regular season. Like this season was weird where we had just all SEC play. Now we don't, and it's like it's more spread out, and hopefully COVID is not just blaring and raging its ugly head when we get to football season in September. But I don't know, it just makes me think I have Georgia as a top 5 team by the time we end the season. I don't know how I feel about Clemson though. And what you mentioned, KT, about the drop off year is something that I'm not like going to just push out to the wayside. I think that's a very valid point. And it's not even because of Dabo. It's not even because of recruits. It's not even because of any of that. It's really just because I feel like Trevor Lawrence, the impact that he had on that program, bold take, is comparable to Deshaun Watson. Just being the person that everybody gravitated around. And I'm not talking about just like his teammates, but I'm talking about national media. Do you think that Clemson still gets the national media attention that warrants them being in a college football playoff when it's all said and done, Jalen?
Just because of what they've done in the past, yes. And just because they have a big storyline with DJ replacing Trevor Lawrence, yeah.
You got anything else on this topic, KT?
No, I think you all did a wonderful job with the read and react for that segment.
Hey, go Bulldogs, bro. Go, we on Clemson head. I'm trying to let you know.
All right, so year one for Prime State, aka Jackson State, they're not playing any SEC teams. A lot of we know that these schedules a lot of times are created very early. And in fact, they're only playing HBCUs from what I've seen. Let me go look at their schedule again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just HBCUs.
Yeah, they
I
got
looked at
Florida
it a couple of
A&M,
weeks ago.
Tennessee State, ULM, Delta State, Alabama A&M, Alabama State, Bethune-Cookman, NVSU, Texas Southern, Alcorn State. Yeah, so it's all HBCUs. So what's a realistic expectation for Prime State, aka Jackson State, this season?
You can go first, Jalen.
I'm talking about like overall, like their season record,
Yeah,
their
their season record.
how many games do they play? It's the same amount as Division One.
Yeah, it should be 12.
Okay. They added a lot of talent this year. That to both of Deion's sons go there right now. I know they flipped a couple commits. They got some transfer commits in now. I would say the realistic expectation is at least 9 or 10 games, and at least make to the second round of the FCS playoffs. People shouldn't go in expecting a championship first year just because it's prime. Like, you got to be realistic. These aren't his recruits. You have to remember that. So you're not going in with all his players. He's going in, I believe, what his recruiting class is like, 14 players, I think? 11 players? Somewhere in between there, I believe. So people have to remember, like, these are not his recruits. Like, if some of these players aren't good, like it just is what it is with that because they aren't his recruits. Like Lovie Smith. first year.
I think I think you nailed it. I think you're 100% correct as far as teetering their expectations just a little. At the same time, though, I know Prime coming in for one reason and one reason only, and it's to dominate, and it's to absolutely dominate, and it's to win. And they have some Power 5 type talent on their roster already. What did they? How many recruits did they flip? What, 4 recruits on national
Yeah,
signing day?
about 4 or 5.
That is unheard of. That is astronomical. You would think within the next couple of years, Jackson State may be cornerback U, because so many people are going to want to play under the tutelage of Deion Primetime Sanders. Moon vibes.
What can I expect from Primetime and Jackson State?
Yeah. Jackson State. They're not playing any Power 5 schools. Pretty much playing all HBCUs.
They don't need to yet. They don't need to. What can I expect? A lot of games on ESPNU. That's what I can expect, baby. A lot of ESPNU games. That's what I mean. Listen, this is going to be highlight worthy field day. I know you don't got the recruits, but you can make up what you lose in recruits. You can make up for in coaching. They got a coaching staff that is, I would say, elite. I can go down the laundry list of names, but Prime knows how to pick them. And I think that when we look at the situation, this program is deeper than just Prime. Prime is the name and the face of it, right? But you can't forget about the other body parts that make this program go. Yes, it would take them a couple of years, but right off the gate, my realistic expectation, I say 11-1. The only team that they lose to is probably what, Southern. I say Southern.
Actually, Jackson State fans want to beat Florida A&M. People say they're not for real. People on Twitter was like saying the Jackson State isn't for real until they beat Florida A&M.
And they play them week 1.
They play in week 1, right?
Yes.
That's gonna be an easy dub, so they're gonna know that they're for real. So moving on to the next games. I think the only 2 games I'll be worried about is like if they play Southern and if they play Texas Southern. Those would be the 2 games I'll be like, okay. The rest of it doesn't really put fear into me, nor should it put into this coaching staff. They can make up for it in talent. Now, we talk about having the athletes and everything. The athletes are going to come. I don't even think it's going to take them 3 years. I think that if they start winning games, I think they can win games this year. People will flood to them even more, and it'll be like this wave where you have to be there to experience it. Now, I fully expect, if COVID is not happening by that time, like I fully expect, or it maybe not happening, but like it's kind of died down. I fully expect the crowds to be packed. You already know the bands are going to be going crazy, and it's HBCUs for you. But Prime is going to get a chance to experience it, and I really do feel like he's going to fall in love with the game all over again. But from a coach's perspective, I feel like we're going to see the best version of Prime, and we're going to see the best version of this team. My wins, I got them winning 11 games first year, and they make it to second round because they play just a better overall team, and they lose in gut-wrenching fashion to close the year out. That gives them extra ammo for win next year, for it to come back next year. And I think that's how that story goes. But yeah, I can look forward to a lot of games on ESPNU, man.
Wow. Jackson State, like you said,
I'll
they
tell you
will
some of
be.
the coaches.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I don't want to say some of the coaches. I just want to say 2 coaches. The names might stick out to you. We got Terrell Owens, wide receiver coach, and Moon. You know this person a little bit. Warren Sapp.
So just a little bit, just a little. That alone in itself, bro, is why I'm saying we can't just focus on the recruits that he's bringing in. We have to focus also on the coaching staff that he's bringing in, because he could really bringing this total paradigm shift of former players saying, "Hey, man, let me go back to my roots." Can you imagine if some of these HBCU greats that played in the NFL for a long period of time decide to say, "Hey, well, let's follow the prime right. Let's go head coach at the HBCU." Now, we can always look forward to fried chicken Wednesdays. Fried chicken Wednesdays, we can always look forward to that. But deeper than that, they're gonna have football to look forward to. And Theo and Sappy on your roster as y'all coaching. It's more of them, but that's kind of proving my point right there. Back to you, KT.
Yeah, Jackson State is gonna be bananas this week, and I think what people really gonna get on ESPNU, to us, we know about that HBCU experience. A lot of people have no clue what that is.
It's a
So when they
movie.
showing the halftime show, they showing how interactive, and this is, hopefully COVID, we're in a better state then than we are now. They really get to see that real HBCU experience. You're gonna see more top tier players be like, hey, maybe I wanna go to an HBCU. As Moon alluded to. This just in.
You got
David
breaking news?
Culley. David Culley is expected to be hired as the Texans head coach. He was an assistant head coach / receiver coach, pass game coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens.
Actually, I think he actually did get hired. He not expected. I think he did get hired. I think he
So
officially got hired.
he did get hired. Couple of issues here. So
Yes, he's
everybody
officially
who's
hired.
been following R1P since day one know that we had an episode of rapid fire questions, and we pretty much said, hey, Eric Bieniemy, Greg Roman should be two of the top coaches in this upcoming offseason. So they didn't want Greg Roman, the actual coordinator. They wanted the assistant. They wanted the passing game coordinator and the assistant head coach. Eric Bieniemy not selected for any of the 7 coaching vacancies. Moon vibes. Read and react.
I'm shocked, bro. But before I get into that, let me put respect on David Culley's name. I just had to do a little quick Google search real quick. It's not like he a cupcake rookie. He's 65. He spent the past 2 seasons in Baltimore. He just completed his 27th season as an NFL coach. 27. So we gotta put respect on his name. He was Baltimore's passing game coordinator, but then when you look at Baltimore, they didn't even have a passing game. So what did he coordinate? Oh, this is the same Baltimore passing game that the Hollywood Brown said. What did he say, Jalen?
He said, "What's the point of having soldiers if you ain't gonna use them?"
Well, David Culley, what's the point of having soldiers if you're not going to use them? They finished the 2020 season ranked last in the NFL in passing. Now, John Harbaugh said that's a great opportunity there in Houston. They have a heck of an organization. I do believe that David Culley will be a tremendous hire for any team, maybe especially the Texans with Deshaun Watson. Well, let me get this straight with you, John Harbaugh. Let me tell you, you capping, my guy. It's not a great opportunity there. That's a land trap. And I'm telling you, it's a landmine. And David Culley, if you have a chance to renege, I would renege ASAP because you're not going to be coaching Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is gone. That's what I expect. He's gone. It's kind of no saving it. And it's not even nothing to do with the head coach. In fact, the reports that I was hearing is that Deshaun Watson, he was gone no matter who the head coach was. John Harbaugh, the reason I say you cap is because you said they have a heck of an organization. You talking about the same organization that was ran by Bill O'Brien? Oh, okay. He would be a tremendous hire for any team. I don't doubt that. You've been with the man for the last 2 seasons. But the Texans as a whole are not in a good place right now. Not in the cap space, not with their draft picks, not with their future. Right now, they don't even have a future. It's kind of crazy. The Ravens do receive 2 third-round compensatory picks, one in 2021 and another one in 2022 for Culley getting hired from their staff. This comes from a resolution adopted in November that is meant to incentivize NFL teams to develop and hire minority candidates for head coaching and general manager positions. The reason why it's shocking and it hurts so much to me is because we be advocating and pounding the table for minority head coaches to get jobs, and we just talked about Eric Bieniemy not getting one. But it's like, I'm not hating on the fact that David Culley got a job as a minority head coach. I applaud it, but like the situation as a whole is going to be one where he's only there for a year, 2 years before they reflip it. Now I understand they got new management, but I would like to see the deal and the details of the deal. Like what was the compensation? Like how many years is it? Is it a Kyle Shanahan contract where it's 6 years, and you have some type of security behind it to let you know that, hey, we know that this is going to be a rebuilding process. It would be torture if the Texans went into it and said, hey, well, we're just gonna offer you a 2-year contract, and it's just like, bro, like y'all don't understand that this is going to take some time. Like this is going to take a lot of time. But the last thing I'll say is that Houston, they interviewed Leslie Frazier for the Bills, KT's Bills. They got Jim Caldwell, Matt Eberflus, and current Texas quarterback Josh McCown, after Caserio from the New England Patriots took over. And they also interviewed Brandon Staley, who before he was hired by the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, Watson, he's playing the best football of his career. And I totally see that continuing. The only thing is, I just don't see that happening on their roster. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. Jalen, how you feel about it, bro?
I while Moon was talking, I was telling myself not to overreact saying it's a bad hire because do any of y'all remember when Joe Judge got hired last year?
Yeah.
For the Giants, everybody was like, "Oh, that's a terrible hire. Like he's the special teams coordinator. Like you hired a special teams guy." I'm like, okay. Now my initial reaction to that hire was it was bad. So I'm telling myself, don't overreact because Joe Judge was supposed to be a bad hire, and the Giants almost made the playoffs, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, you got to look at the situation that he came into versus the one that Cully is coming into. Which one to you is a better situation? Joe Judge entering the Giants organization last year, or Cully entering this right now?
Joe Judge. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if they made this hire expecting to keep Deshaun Watson because it was a report that came out this past Sunday, and it said that no matter who the coach was, he wanted out. Like, so I'm just like, I don't I don't know where they were going with this hire. I felt it might have been maybe more qualified. Actually, it is more qualified people out there. But I mean, I guess we have to wait and see how good of a hire it was or how bad of a hire it was.
I'll say one more thing before it passes back off to KT. Eric Bieniemy, if you're listening to this podcast, you better off just staying in Kansas City and loading up on championship rings, my guy. Back to our host.
It's sad. It's real sad. These coaching decisions don't make sense to me. They do not make sense. So pretty much, Eric Bieniemy has been the best offensive coordinator the past 2 years in the NFL. The absolute best. But we're giving all of the credit to Andy Reid. Is that what we're doing? Why are we doing that? Eric Bieniemy is a respected guy. One of the Colorado Buffaloes' all-time greatest players. Played in the NFL for 8 years. What is it? Why is he not getting a look? Why is he not getting a job? Some of these coaching hires don't make sense. It doesn't. It has to be something else we don't know about. You hear a bunch of national media talking. Why isn't Eric Bieniemy getting a job? Is he not prepared? Well, you look at Andy Reid's coaching tree. It's extensive. His coaching tree is very extensive. So why isn't Eric Bieniemy getting a job? Houston, Texas has been a poop show for a couple of years now. Their late owner, Bob McNair, rest in peace, said that the inmates were running the prison when discussing kneeling in the NFL. Bill O'Brien traded DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson and some Reese's Pieces.
Son. A zebra cake.
What is going on with this organization? There has to be something going on with this organization. It just has to be. It's not making sense at all. From the Bob McNair comments to Bill O'Brien trading, at that time, arguably the best receiver in the league, to now Deshaun Watson is unhappy because he wasn't included in the coaching search. You would think at least somebody will be like, hey, we're going to go get the coach we want that'll put us in the best situation. But is there an offensive coordinator you want? Is there something you want? Is there anybody you want us to attack in free agency? When J.J. Watt apologized to dude in the last game of the season, say we wasted a great year for yours. To get an apology from a guy like that, that goes a long way. The Texans organization should be ashamed of themselves. Now, David Culley can turn out and be a good coaching hire. What I'm saying has nothing to do with him. It has everything to do with that organization. Did Romeo Crennel even get a look?
I think that went out of the window after that. What happened? It was earlier in the season where I think he had the choice to go for it on 4th down, and they didn't do it. Yeah, I think that was out of the window then.
I just feel like, man, when you look a certain way, when you act a certain way, you're not wanted. Some of these coaching hires just don't make sense, and we'll see. Next, read and react. John Wolford and Jared Goff to have an open competition this upcoming camp. Jalen, read and react.
My reaction to this was, about it. It was the question I asked on Sunday. I don't know if y'all remember that question. I was like, "Are the Rams stuck with Jared Goff?" And shoot, they might be. They might just be stuck with Jared Goff. Now, Wolford is a decent quarterback. I don't think he can win you a Super Bowl. I think Jared Goff gives you a better chance of winning a Super Bowl. Now, do I think Jared Goff is a Super Bowl caliber winning quarterback that you want on your team? Not really, no. But I'm like, okay, so it's clearly some tension between Jared Goff and this front office, or at least Jared Goff and Sean McVay. Now, when I saw this quarterback competition pop up on my phone, I'm like, man, maybe this could signal an A-Rod trade. Now, I know many people are like, because I'm like, man, A-Rod, from Cali. I don't know if he's from LA or not, but I know he's from Cali. And I'm like,
He's from Northern Cali.
Yeah. So I'm just I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, I don't know how big his contract is, but I'm pretty sure it's a good size contract. I know Jared Goff got a big contract, 2 off seasons ago, last off season.
4 years, 134 million extension. Less than 2 years ago.
Was that Jared Goff?
Including 110 million in total guaranteed money.
Sheesh.
Brinks truck, beep.
I'm just like, maybe try to package in a Jared Goff for Aaron Rodgers type deal. You know, maybe the Rams or the Packers are gonna have to throw in a player, or another player, or a couple picks maybe. But other than that, I mean, my reaction to what you just told me was the Rams don't believe in Jared Goff. I don't know if the fans believe in Jared Goff, and that's the way it's gonna be until Jared Goff leaves.
That's tough, bro. That's tough. My reaction as we speak, finesse the plug. I finesse the plug. Jug, finesse. I'm going with the sack. Ain't no need asking for your money back, LA Rams. Listen, this dude right here, Jared Goff. Jalen, let me put you on the spot real quick. If you're the Packers, right? Let's say you're the Packers and I'm the Rams. I come to you this offseason and I say, hey, would you do a Aaron Rodgers for Jared Goff, but just so it's kind of even because the money is kind of there. They both asking about to. I know Aaron Rodgers trying to get a new deal because he's trying to put the Packers. He has the leverage right now. When we talk about leverage, I mean his play is his leverage. He's playing out of his mind. We do Aaron Rodgers for Jared Goff, right? But I throw in, let's see, like maybe like a since you're losing Aaron Jones, why not throw in like a Daryl, not like a Daryl Henderson maybe, or a Cam Akers to get Aaron Rodgers, and y'all throw in like a Kevin King since he's like the hot name right now that everybody's grilling. Would you do that trade, Jalen?
If I'm the Rams, you ask me to give up Cam Akers, nah. I'll be like Malcolm Brown, and then maybe I'll toss in like a 3rd-round pick.
Okay. But if it was for Jared Goff, though, if he's in the contract, if he's in the discussion, you would do it?
Yes, if I'm the Packers, just because I don't believe in Jordan Love, if you ask me. So, yeah, I would do it.
I don't think the Packers really believe in their drafting strategy right now, because why would you draft Jordan Love only to have him be on the bench the whole year, not be able to have a piece that can contribute to Aaron Rodgers? Doesn't really make sense. But
You
I
remember I
already
sent you
knew.
them?
I already knew he was gonna go there. They had a laundry list of players that they drafted that did not play a single snap this year. The only one that played was what, AJ Dillon.
Yep.
So, what is hard to swallow about this situation is that the Rams general manager Les Snead, he kind of created some controversy around this whole thing where he was out there sidestepping questions like step back in questions like James Harden there when they asked him about Jared Goff's future with the team, and he said Jared Goff is a Ram at this moment. Nah, he's still around. But the fact that he has open competition with John Wofford is what's supposed to happen. In fact, I don't think Sean McVay would want it any other way. Now Wofford, he's a more mobile quarterback. We remember him because he started Week 17 against the Cardinals and got the nod to start in the wild card game before he got knocked out of the game by Jamal Adams. In the hit that some people say that was kind of bush league, other people say it was a clean hit. What is he supposed to do? But it resulted in Jared Goff coming in after his thumb was just all over the place, and try to come in and save the day, and he couldn't. Now, this is fresh off the thumb surgery that he had too. Now, for Wofford, he's 25. He finished 25 for 44 for 260 and an interception in those two combined games. But that was the first 2 starts of his whole NFL career. Now, if you look at Wofford's contract, if you really believe in him, he has a 2-year deal worth 1.54 million, I believe. But Jared Goff is just by far not even in the same stratosphere at 134 million. With the 110 guarantee, he's completed 67% of his passes for 3,952 yards with 20 touchdowns and 13 interceptions, while also losing 4 fumbles. But peep this, his touchdowns and his yards were his fewest under the leadership of Sean McVay. So it makes me think to myself, well, if Les Snead don't even want to claim you at the moment, why would I? Like I don't know if he's going to be on their roster come 2021 season. And I know that the salary cap is about to come down a little bit. It's gonna put a lot of teams in some tough situations. Like, gonna have to make some tough cuts. And KT, hey, this is why you need to listen to Leverett Analytics, because KT, I already know he's gonna talk about this as far as the Rams and what they should do with their money and the dead money, and should they cut golf and then just take the cap hit, or like what should they do? But if I was them, I wouldn't commit to golf either way. And it's just like you just gotta show me more. Sean McVay, don't let Jared Goff be the reason why you don't ever win a Super Bowl. Because we know you young, we know you brilliant as far as you being a thinker and being a next level as far as your play calling and everything. You got the Rams to a place in Green Bay before y'all ran into the buzzsaw that is the Green Bay Packers before they got annihilated by the Buccaneers. And I say, yes, I said annihilated because they had plenty of chances to win, and that's a whole nother topic. But y'all were right in position to make a run. Your defense is at its point. You don't want to waste these contracts on your defense, especially when you're paying Jalen Ramsey crazy money and Aaron Donald getting paid too. You don't want to waste that in over a quarterback that isn't living up to the hype, especially since you drafted him. So that's my 2 cents on it. KT, how you feel about it with the breaking news?
Alrighty, so there's only one way to handle this situation. Either you pay Jared Goff to be your quarterback, but you learn a valuable lesson from this. Stop giving these quarterbacks these long-term contracts unless they're playing like Patrick Mahomes. Now, I think Dak Prescott is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the NFL, and I've been saying for a long time, pay the man, pay the man, pay the man. But you see a situation like this, you kind of understand why Jerry Jones don't want to pay the man. So here's what the Rams are dealing with, and they only got one option, and moonvibes has already mentioned it. If they cut Jared Goff before June 1st, they would lose $30 million in their cap. That's a cap hit. That's called the cap penalty for everybody who's listening. And dead money would be $65 million. Can't do that. If they decide, all right, well, we're going to cut them after June 1st, they still get a $14 million cap penalty and still ended up with almost $50 million in dead money. Can't do that. The only thing they can possibly do is trade him after June 1st, like moonvibes alluded to. Yes, it will be a $6.8 million dead money bill, but they would save in cap space. That's about the only thing that they can do if they want to get rid of the Jared Goff situation. I actually like John Wolford. And if you look at the quarterbacks in that division, they're mobile. Sean McVay, I feel like anybody can kind of plug and play. It's just the Rams got a lot of bad money situations. And when I get to the Rams on Leverett Analytics, that may be the longest episode ever because their contracts alone are just terrible. I'm looking at this now and I just want to feel like who's responsible for this? Can I talk to them, please? Hire one of us. So yeah, that's all I got to say about that situation. John Wolford is the best answer. But the easy answer is to just stick with Goff, deal with that contract until that contract is no longer. So, is that it for that read and react segment?
Yeah, that's it, bro. I my head hurts talking about this whole cap situation. For the Rams.
Yeah, it really does. All righty, so let's get into something a little fun. So, read and react over under 56.5 points for Super Bowl LV. Jalen, read and react.
Do you want me to say over or under?
Yeah, and you can get a Y as well.
I'm gonna say under, just because I feel like when you give two teams basically 2 weeks to prepare for each other, I don't suspect like a whole bunch of a shootout, should I say? Uh, so I'm gonna say under, and that's why you give a team 2 weeks to prepare for somebody. I don't expect a shootout. I expect a X's and O's game on defense, a chess match, and I'm gonna say under. I'm gonna say they equal up to 52 points.
Moon.
Favorites have gone 28 and 24 against the spread for 2 pushes in Super Bowl history. And they've also covered in 3 of the last 4 editions. Now, that favors Kansas City, which they hope to cover. And I think they are a 3-point favorite with the early line. 56.5 is right about where I look at it as. I just think that this game will be, it has to be a shootout. It has to. Now, I'm not even comparing it to the game that they had before, earlier this year. I'm going to treat this as its own entity. When we talk about the Bucks, well, let's talk about the Chiefs first. Now, you got Patrick Mahomes on one side, Brady on the other side. That's obvious. But offense is the first thing that comes to mind when you talk about these teams. It's not defense. I'm not really fearful of Kansas City's defense, nor am I fearful of the Bucks defense. I just think that his matchups play a lot to deal with it. Now the Packers can't. I bet they wish they had David Bakhtiari in that game, but the Chiefs are dealing with their own injuries on their offensive line too, which is unfortunate coming into this game. But did you know that this is the second highest Super Bowl over under in the past 12 years? That alone in itself make me feel like, all right, well, can the defenses step up in situational football? And I think so. And I understand that I just said that I don't think that the both defenses are like really top 10 based on what I've seen over the year, but they've been turning on as late. The Bucks get a lot of edge pressure. The Chiefs are more of let me just say, I'm gonna disguise it. Just Spagnuolo, I really love Spagnuolo. And the kind of pressure that they did on the Buffalo Bills should make Tom Brady nervous, very nervous. Just because Josh Allen is faster than you. So you're not gonna be able to run and escape like that. Now, Bucks are 8th in the NFL in scoring defense this season. They gave up 22 points a game. But Kansas City was also close behind, ranking 11th, and they only allowed 22. So if I look at that, that's 22 to 22, right? That's 44 points. For it to get to 56, it would have to be like a score of about like 30 to 26 final, 30 to 20, 30 to 27 Super Bowl. I very well think that that's possible because in the first game, I feel like the Chiefs left a lot of points on the field, especially earlier in the game. And I know they came out blazing. Tyreek Hill had the first quarter of a lifetime, but I still feel that this offense is just too explosive. If you're trying to tell me that both quarterbacks will be held under 300 yards and that no running back is going to top 60 yards, I have a hard time to believe that, especially when it comes to the passing. It's just tough, bro. If I have to go over under, I'm going with my gut. I'm gonna say over. And this Super Bowl is not gonna be like the ones that we've seen in the past. Not like the Patriots versus Rams Super Bowl where it was super boring. Not even like the Seattle Seahawks and Denver Broncos Super Bowl that was over by the time my pizza even got here from Pizza Hut. I think it will be very, very entertaining throughout the game. And I really do feel that it's going to hit the over. Final score is kind of what I said, 30-27. So I just make the over. This is 56.5. Chiefs win. Back to you, KT.
The over under I don't know about as much, but I as far as the spread, I'm betting with the Bucks for the spread. Playoff Fournette is different, really is. Bruce Arians is different. You don't see coaches call out other coaches often, unless they feel like they was like running up the score. You know, normally you hear it in a pathetic way. Well, your team run up the score. It's not my job as a coach to tell my team to stop us. It's my job as a coach to force your team to stop us. Bruce Arians, he got something with Bill Belichick, man. I don't know what it is, and I know Jalen is a Patriots fan. Maybe he can elaborate on it, but he been on his line. I don't know if y'all been paying attention.
Yep.
But Bruce Arians want all the smoke. I remember about midway through the season, they was like, is there an issue with Tom Brady and Bruce Arians? And you listen to them now, you be like, they're the best of friends. And he's just taking dig after dig at Bill Belichick, and it kind of makes you think, well, damn, behind closed doors, what is Tom Brady telling Bruce Arians for him to like openly take digs at him? Jalen, how you feel about that?
I feel like Bruce Arians shouldn't talk until he win a ring.
Go ahead and talk that talk. Hey, can I add on to your point, bro?
Oh, man, Antonio.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna add on to this point. You know how you said that? What is Tom Brady telling Bruce Arians?
Yeah, behind closed
What
doors.
Bruce Arians needs to worry about is what is Bill Belichick telling Andy Reid, because that is not getting unnoticed. You talk all this smoke about Billy B if you want to, my guy. You know Andy Reid is good with offense, but best believe
Bro,
Bill Belichick,
all the time. He might be talking to Andy Reid.
he probably got him on speed like talking about we're on the Tampa Bay. Yeah, we're on the Tampa Bay, all right. Listen, my point to add on to you, Jalen, is just that like don't sleep on Bill Belichick and his connections. Now I know you're not in the Super Bowl, but if anybody's seen Tom Brady play over the last 20 years, it was Bill Belichick. We can't act like Tom Brady didn't have top 10 defenses galore over this course of time being there. So if anybody knows how to stop him, it's Bill Belichick. So, hey, Andy, pick up your phone, bro. It's Billy B calling.
Yeah. Super Bowl is definitely going to be a dandy. I'm not looking forward to the Pro Bowl. I ain't going to lie. But let's get to the next segment of Read and React. This one, very interesting. Read and React. I'm going to actually start with myself here first. Aaron Rodgers. It wasn't my decision. And he was talking about Matt LaFleur's decision to kick the field goal instead of going forward. I think they were at the 8-yard line, 4th and goal from the 8-yard line. In interviews, well, Bill Belichick does a great job of not telling people a lot of information. It's none of y'all business. I'm gonna tell y'all what I want y'all to know, and that's nothing. His players are gonna tell y'all what y'all want to know, which is nothing. Like that's how the Patriots organization works. That's where the whole do your job and the Patriots way come from. That all comes from that. So Aaron Rodgers has a tendency to throw players and coaches under the bus. We see it on the field. A player doesn't do something he's supposed to do. Like he'll have this stupid look on his face, or he'll yell. Like, and there's nothing wrong. Like as a leader, as leadership, you're supposed to call people out. But there's certain ways you should call people out, and it shouldn't always be on display. So I feel like, and I feel like you all felt this way as well, that Matt LaFleur was kind of the perfect coach for Green Bay. They've had a lot of success since he's been there, but it wasn't my decision. Why does that need to be said? Well,
Just
why does
to
that need to be said? I feel like he's openly like, hey, I'm gonna throw him under the bus. He's also openly kind of acting like he doesn't want to play for Green Bay Packers anymore. Now, with them drafting Jordan Love, last year's draft, you kind of see it a little bit, but I don't believe in throwing people under the bus. I do believe in respecting the chain of command. Players play, coaches coach, managers manage, owners own. Y'all heard me say that several times. Respect the damn chain of command. Do not throw people under the bus. You don't throw people under the bus. That you're not supposed to do that. Somebody asked me, hey, that's not a part of Real One Productions. Hey, why is Jalen doing this? Why is Jalen doing that? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, well, when is Moon gonna do this? When is Moon gonna do that? When are you gonna stop minding Moon's business?
Mhm.
Respect the chain of command. Do not throw people under the bus. I will say this one more time. Players play.
Mhm.
Coaches
Coach,
coach.
right? Right.
Managers manage.
Manage.
Owners own.
Own.
Chain of command. Learn it, respect it, understand it. Moon,
But
you go first on this.
but the same thing you just said is why Aaron Rodgers should not have any blame placed on his head for this. And I feel like this is where you got to take your own advice and run with it. Coach is coach. Who's the head coach? Aaron Rodgers? No. The head coach is Matt LaFleur. When they didn't get that, when they called that flag, you can see the amount of hurt that was on Matt LaFleur's face on the field. You had Aaron Rodgers wanting all the smoke, running into the referee. They had to separate him from the referee. And I get it. They was calling flags. They didn't call a single flag all day until the very end. That's my problem with it. I understand that he pulled his shirt / jersey. He pulled it. Kevin King pulled it. Kevin King was getting toasted and roasted all day. We get it. But
He was.
like I'm gonna nickname him breakfast toaster. Scotty Miller. That's all I gotta say to get under Kevin King's skin. Leonard Fournette. That'll get even more under his skin. But literally, I'm gonna take all jokes out of it. You just said it. Players play, coaches coach. Aaron Rodgers did not know that. Aaron Rodgers went into it with the mindset of, oh, it's 4-down territory. That's really, if I think about it, another reason why he probably didn't scramble on that play at 3rd down, try to run into the end zone. Maybe he was like, well, we got another opportunity to do so. Now they sent out the field goal team, which we talk about analytics all the time, but they went for a 2-point conversion earlier in the game. And they didn't get it all because Ndamukong Suh put his hands up and slightly tipped the ball that allowed Equanimeous St. Brown to not be able to catch it in the back of the end zone, which forced and messed up the whole score. Now, so that 2-point conversion, that's the real 2-point conversion that we should have been talking about in the game, but like. Aaron Rodgers, we just said it. Players play. He's playing. Coaches coach. He needs to take responsibility, Matt LaFleur that is, for blowing this game. Even if you go for it and you do not get it, you still have them pinned in there close to their end zone. So they have to start from there. Now, that's way different than you giving them the ball back within their 20 and then just hoping that Tom Brady. And I think that what we're failing to mention is that Matt LaFleur is getting a little bit too cocky and getting a little bit feeling himself a little bit too much, talking about, well, and I think his was logic. Well, our defense is playing better in the second half and we got 3 picks and we're holding Tom Brady. Bro, he's the GOAT for a reason. Like, you think that all he needs is a little sliver, he's going for your jugular. And y'all gave him a little sliver. And y'all put Kevin King. Y'all tried to hide Kevin King, and they found Kevin King, and he got lost, and y'all lost. So I just think that it's not even about Aaron Rodgers. They don't want to treat Aaron Rodgers right in the first place. They drafted Jordan Love. Y'all not treating this man right. Oh, speaking about that, they don't want to give him the help that he deserves on his offensive line. I mean, not on his offensive line, but his wide receivers. Who are you throwing to besides Devontae Adams? So it just makes you think like Aaron Rodgers. If I was you, my guy, I'll be ready to dip. Slide on a late night. I slide on just go. Take off. Jet. It's not even a decision, bro. And based on listening to his interviews on Pat McAfee and everything, he's at that place where he's about to just go, get away, and recharge. And now he's about to come and approach it because he said you never know. Each offseason is different. You know you're gonna lose guys. This team is never gonna be the same. And that's just the NFL for you. Each team year to year is not the same. They might not have Aaron Jones next year. They might not be in a situation where the offensive line is as whole as it was before. So him playing at his best is like, is the organization gonna treat me right? Well, Aaron, you'll know if they're treating you right by the type of money that they give you this offseason. And I'm done.
Jalen?
So react to what again?
Aaron Rodgers. This was his comments on Matt LaFleur's decision to kick the field goal instead of going for it on 4th down and 8, where it was really 4th and goal from the 8-yard line. And Aaron Rodgers said it wasn't his decision. How do you feel about that?
I'm not mad at him. Just because if I was a quarterback, I feel like I gotta express the fact that, it wasn't my decision either. Also, it tells me that, does Matt LaFleur have 100% confidence in Aaron Rodgers? I would have 100% confidence in Aaron Rodgers. It's hard because you don't want to throw nobody under the bus, but at the same time, if I'm A-Rod, I'm like, I didn't make that decision. That it was the coach's fault. I feel like Matt LaFleur fell into the analytic party of the NFL. You know what I mean, KT, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he fell into that, and Matt LaFleur, I don't know if he wanted to make it to the Super Bowl, because if I'm the coach, I'm like, man, fourth and goal. We gotta go to the Super Bowl. We got a chance to go to the Super Bowl. We gotta go for it. I'm not kicking the field goal and hoping for a stop. No,
I think you meant that in a reverse way. So you know about the book that they utilize, right? This book has been around in NFL for a long time. So the book tells you to kick the field goal, try to get a stop and get the ball back. Analytics tell you to try to go for it and get that touchdown right then and there.
Well, don't follow that book. Just know everything you see on the book ain't true, man. But I mean, I'm like, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm like, I want to go for it on 4th and goal. My coach didn't. So I mean, I don't got no problem with him throwing them on right there up under the bus. He was like, "Hey, Matt LaFleur, hey, get up under there."
Are you okay?
But I mean, I don't feel no type of way about him saying that, just because, one, he was asked the question. No, he ain't got to answer in that way. But still, I feel like he might have been mad at Matt LaFleur at that time. So he might have been like, yeah, he wanted to call he wanted to call for the field goal team out there.
Okay. I gotta ask you this question, Jalen.
Mm-hmm.
So we played the game, right? And I'm mad at you about a decision you made, right?
Yeah.
So talking to the media, I let that media know that I don't like the decision that you made. Now versus doing the PR thing in sports, answering by not really answering or answering, you know what I'm saying, with a question. I feel like there's more respect there if I came to you and I told you, yo, I got an issue with you, versus telling the media now the world and the sports media get to take these little sound bites and make whatever they want to make out of it. As you can, I don't know if you've seen it, but Pat McAfee was arguing the other day on ESPN. It was like, Aaron Rodgers can do whatever Aaron Rodgers wants. Because everybody's talking about that Aaron Rodgers wants out. And you don't think that little comments like those don't lead to further speculation. My advice is to all NFL players. You want to see someone answer questions the right way, and it's time to really stop saying Tom Brady is the GOAT in just the NFL. Is he the GOAT of all sports? Because of the way he handles interviews, you can see Bill Belichick in him. You would never get a response like that out of Tom Brady. I just think at the time that they asked Aaron Rodgers, he was mad. He had a right to be mad, but he was also being emotional.
I didn't see no emotion besides pure fury. And I would have been mad too. Like, this man just fulfilling his media responsibilities. Y'all trying to treat Aaron Rodgers like he Kyrie. He's not Kyrie.
I mean, to me, he was being emotional. I mean, if he was mad about and I y'all know I lean on the side of analytics. Yes, they should have went for it on 4th and 8. But damn, wasn't it 2nd and 8? Then 3rd and 8? Then 4th and 8?
But who does that come down to? Aaron Rodgers or the coaching?
Both. If the coach wasn't calling the right plays or the player wasn't executing the plays, then it's both. But I love that question because, like I say, Aaron Rodgers is a name you hear a lot. People are even trying to speculate, hey, where Aaron Rodgers going? Where Aaron Rodgers going? Don't even know if he's going anywhere, but it's big in the talks. So let's move along. Number 8 question. I actually this not this question, but this headline put a smile on my face. Scotty Miller of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm faster than Tyreek Hill.
Definitely faster than you. Definitely faster than Kevin King. I know somebody you're faster than.
Hey man, somebody need to test Buddy ASAP, man. Somebody need to go test him, man.
You
and I'm not saying Scotty Miller not fast, because you seen how he got freaky against Kevin King by this bad
he
back.
Get freaky. All he did was run a 9 route.
If you review R1P this past Sunday, I told y'all Kevin King back, they're going to attack them. But Scotty Miller said after that game, he said he faster than Tyreek Hill. Now, there's a million ways to look at speed. And I kind of want to get y'all take on this headline, and I want y'all to read and react to it, but also include, how do you evaluate speed? Is it just pure straight line?
Mm-mm.
Because I've always thought quickness was more important than speed. Barry Sanders didn't have great straight line speed. He's actually got hawked a few times. But his ability to move in tight spaces, you couldn't tackle him in a telephone booth. I always valued that more than straight line speed. So it's kind of a 2 headliner. Scotty Miller saying he's faster than Tyreek Hill. Read and react. And also, how do you evaluate speed? We can start with Jalen.
So Scotty Miller saying he's faster than Tyreek Hill. I don't remember what Gino Auriemma said one day, but I know he said something in the lines of, I'll go to the bank, bet my house, take out a loan, bet that, and I'll be 100% confident that I'll win those bets. And my money be on Tyreek Hill. Now, Scotty Miller, bro, I don't care how fast you is. I think Tyreek Hill's the fastest player in the NFL. I think he's the fastest player on his team. Yes, faster than Miko Hardman. But man, Scotty Miller, man, I don't know what you're thinking talking about that. Scotty Miller, bro, don't let Kevin King hype up your head, bro.
He drank too much of the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
He's doing a little bit too much of Kool-Aid. He overdosing right now. Got a little bit too much sugar in his tank.
I could see Bill Belichick if Scotty Miller said that and was on the Patriots, Bill Belichick would have set him for a quarter, man. I can really see that, man. You're like, yeah, you're not playing the whole first quarter.
So the next question was, how do I define speed?
Yeah.
I don't like just the straight line speed, just how you said the between quickness and speed. I don't know if it was Bill Belichick or not, but somebody said it's a difference between the 40-yard dash and football speed. Well, straight line speed and football speed, because football speed, making all these cuts, jumps and everything. You got, and straight line speed. It's like, okay, you're running in a straight line. Football, that don't matter. Football, you got to make cuts and everything. So, when it comes to a race, I want straight line speed. But when it comes to football, I look for like you said, these tight spaces, everything. Like Le'Veon Bell, I don't think he was the quickest, but he was so good at going in between tight spaces.
Wow, I thought you put that wonderfully. Scotty Miller, I think, does have elite speed. I think there's no secret that he's probably the fastest player on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know he ran a 4.39 at the 40. Can he even beat Devin White in a straight line, like in a race?
Can he beat Tom Brady?
Stop it, bro. All righty, so let's get to the second to last segment. All right, Sunday we talked about Jacoby Brissett. Jalen did a wonderful job hosting rapid fire questions. And you had asked about Jacoby Brissett, and I want you to ask that question that you asked on Sunday.
I believe the question was, will the Colts front office and Jacoby Brissett see eye to eye this offseason? Now, remember, they bring in Phillip Rivers.
Yeah,
They bring in Phillip Rivers for 1 year. What was the moon? $25 million?
Yeah, one for the 25.
Man, Phillip got paid. They bring in Phillip Rivers because basically they wanted the quarterback to give them the best chance to win the Super Bowl. Now, that tells me that they don't fully believe in Jacoby Brissett. And if I'm Jacoby Brissett, I kind of feel disrespected because I'll be like, I can probably play better than Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is gonna do picks that cost y'all games this year that I might have not thrown. But I mean, how do you read and react to that, Moon?
We gave this analogy on the show, but it's kind of like that girl that you dating and she wants you to take her seriously. And you just like, nah. Like she wants you to marry her. And meanwhile, you like, I haven't even gone ring shopping yet. I'm still cooling. We still in the Netflix and chill phase. Well, the Colts, they in Netflix and chill phase. Jacoby Brissett, he's in I'm in let's get married phase. He's in a situation where he's gonna be a free agent, so he's really gonna be the backup plan for them. It's kind of like Steezy said this so perfectly in the show. Shout out to our OMP intern, Steezy. He said that they're in a situation, it's kind of like prom, where they know that this Jacoby Myers is going to say yes to prom, so they're not even going to ask him first. They're going to go look and go search to see if they can get another prom date before we go to the sure thing. Now, Jacoby coming back to Indianapolis, that would be great for Jacoby just because last year he seemed like he had a lot of fun, things of that nature. Now, when Andrew Luck retired, abruptly, kind of sent shockwaves throughout the whole NFL. I still remember that day. But they offered Jacoby the contract that is kind of about to run out right now. Now, the Phillip contract, I feel like, was them thinking like, oh, we're one piece away. Too bad that Phillip Rivers finessed you out of all your pieces, and now he's off into the sunset with $25 million richer. and he only led y'all to the wild card round. So it makes me think, well, if he pays you $25 million for 1 year and you just got to the wild card round, well, how much would they have to pay Jacoby Brissett to get them to the Super Bowl? Or how much would they have to pay these other quarterbacks like Matthew Stafford or Cam Newton possibly, or Deshaun Watson if they trade for him? Or how much would they have to pay him in order for them to get that Super Bowl or feel like they're not getting finessed? Um, do they see eye to eye this year? I don't think so, because they want different things. If your girl wants you to marry her and you're like, "No, I don't want to be married right now. I don't want to commit." What more do y'all have to talk about? Y'all staying together is just kind of like wasting y'all time, because y'all both want different things. Y'all intentionality is in different places. So I think that's what's going to be the case for Jacoby, and hopefully he can get a good deal somewhere else. There's a lot of, and I know if Sean McVay will open Jacoby Brissett with open arms, especially if they can sign him to like a Jameis Winston type contract for last year. And I'm not saying that's gonna happen for him, but if they can just get him on the roster and play him, I bet he would love having Jacoby Brissett better than Jared Goff. So I just wish him the best, but I think that the signing of Phillip Rivers kind of showcased that they didn't have the trust that they have. But it's crazy. They didn't have the trust in him to be the starting quarterback, but they had the trust in him to throw the ball 50 plus yards because they knew Phillip Rivers couldn't throw it that far. It's crazy. What do you feel about it, KT?
Andrew Luck is retired. He retired at the start of the 2021 season. He would have been retired for 2 years. It says a lot. And when your owner say, we would love to have Andrew Luck back, but we're not gonna we're just gonna cross our fingers on it. Andrew Luck is not coming back. He's not coming back in that locker room. And so for it to be, close to the off season, and the first thing Irsay has to say out of his mouth is talking about Andrew Luck, and not talking about, okay, well, we see a future or we don't see a future with Jacoby Brissett. Not even mentioning somebody like a Matthew Stafford. And, I'm a big fan of not mentioning your every move in the NFL. But it's just mind-boggling that you have a guy that can win games, that can play just as good as Phillip Rivers, at least in the interim. But you're asking about Andrew Luck. I don't know. Anything else for that segment before we get to the last segment of Read and React?
Hey, y'all seen Why Did I Get Married, right?
Absolutely.
Y'all remember Sheila? Yeah, Sheila the one, and then her husband Mike. Well, the Colts are Mike and Jacoby Brissett is Sheila. It don't matter how much weight she loses. It doesn't matter nothing. Y'all still gonna look at him and be talking about the other girl on the plane. Jim Irsay is Mike. He's over here talking on the plane, talking about, hey, scoot over. We gotta make place for her. Meanwhile, you got Sheila on the plane, like, well, she gonna need 2 seats. Like, this is what's happening right before our eyes. You over here worried about something that you had and not worried about what you have. Like, Andrew Luck is not coming out of retirement, and he's probably enjoying all the Starbucks and coffees and espressos that he can take down. But yeah, it's not happening, bro. That's all I gotta say.
KT,
Mm.
can I
Yes,
ask you
sir.
a question?
Yeah.
What type of did the Bills expect Tyrod Taylor to be a franchise quarterback?
Rex Ryan did. And he was kind of treated as such. But the thing is, after Rex Ryan was fired, Buffalo had Sean McDermott, and they also got rid of the general manager at the time, and then also picked up Brandon Beane. And so when you get new general manager, new head coach, they want new players. They don't want the players that were drafted. I think the longest tenured player on our team right now is Jerry Hughes, and I think he's been on the team since like 2014, 2015. That's it.
Okay. So question I was gonna ask.
Yeah, to answer your question, yeah, they did, and they did give him a contract. But Rex Ryan and I forgot the previous general manager name. I can see his face. He used to be a scout for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Anyway, they thought Tyrod was the future.
So do you say that Tyrod, if somebody signs him, like it's just to be a bridge quarterback?
As long as there's no doctors involved, yes, it should be a bridge. But
Chill out, bro. That's sensitive. That's a sensitive topic right now.
yeah,
To keep
yeah.
in Los Angeles.
Hey, Justin Herbert had a great season, but I think Tyrod Taylor might have gotten them to the playoffs and might have spared Anthony Lynn a job if it wasn't for the damn doctors.
So I'm actually, do you see Jacoby Brissett maybe becoming like a Tyrod Taylor, like, maybe just like a bridge quarterback for the rest of his career?
Yeah, or even a career backup.
That's all I gotta ask.
I mean, it's like that because Bill Belichick treated him that way.
He
So if
certainly.
Bill Belichick treated him that way, then how's everybody else going to treat him? That's the league standard right there. Now Jacoby Brissett about to go cry in the car because his grandmama gave him that chance.
He definitely about to go cry in the car. Alrighty, so read and react. Last question of the night. Urban Meyer and the Jacksonville Jaguars have the first overall pick in the 2021 draft. They also have the 25th pick of the 2021 draft. How do y'all feel about that? They got the first and the 25th. Will be a team I think media will be talking about as far as draft night, that day one of the draft. Moon vibes go.
I'm going to be so unpopular when I say this, but I'm ready to receive all the hate mail that I can get. Jacksonville, they traded away so much defensive talent. It's crazy. Calais Campbell, AJ Boye, Jalen Ramsey. They still got Miles Jack, which is a great thing. They have some upcoming pieces from last year. If you watch their team, the only sure thing on their whole offense was the fact that Gardner Minshew was gonna have a solid ass mustache, and also the fact that James Robinson was gonna give you production. And it's kind of crazy because they didn't find James Robinson until they let go of Fournette. My whole thing is, yeah, you can draft a quarterback, but what's drafting quarterback for if you're not going to be able to A, develop him right, and B, put the proper pieces around him for him to be able to be successful? Can the Jacksonville Jaguars put the pieces around Trevor Lawrence for him to be successful? Or is he just going to end up like Deshaun Watson in about 5, maybe 6 years? I'd like to say that he's going to end up like Deshaun Watson in about 5 or 6 years. And I wouldn't feel, and it's not really a knock against Trevor Lawrence because I think that he's extremely talented. He's bigger than you think. He's faster than you think too. A dog of a quarterback, and I think his nickname for me is Sunshine. So it just makes sense having Sunshine in Florida, right? But my unpopular opinion is just trade down, bro. And you don't have to trade down that far. You can trade down, be able to accumulate assets. So you turn that 25th pick into something higher because you couldn't count on the Rams to make it easier on you. But accumulate picks. Like the first 4 teams in this draft, the first 5 teams really, like I will all be in that place of trading down. Even if Trevor Lawrence, just because I wouldn't be confident in my strategy to like what am I going to place around him. Gardner Minshew played his tail off last year. And when he was in, he played his tail off. He was relevant in fantasy. And from a standpoint of marketing, we asked a question earlier to begin the year. We was like, oh, are the Jaguars tanking? And it was like, yeah, they're tanking. Then they came out, beat the Colts, and it was just like, oh no, they're not tanking. But then again, it was just like, nah, that's just a facade. Nah, they really tanking. Like Gardner Minshew is so marketable that it's kind of crazy. Are you going to give up on Minshew mania that quickly? I would hate to see it. Now, is it really going to happen? I don't think so. They probably going to take Trevor Lawrence. But for me personally, I would just accumulate as many assets as I can to rebuild my defense and get me some more a definitive number one wide receiver on my team, and also be able to solidify that offensive line and start rebuilding my team. Urban Meyer, I don't really feel like he's gonna have. Yeah, he's gonna have a quarterback, but what else is he gonna have? Like, not as many pieces as you would have hoped for. So either way, it's gonna be hard. So I'm just saying that just trade down a little bit. You could still be able to get a quarterback of the future. Maybe Justin Fields falls a little bit in the draft. Maybe you luck up and able to um piece together a Devontae Smith combination or a Jamar Chase combination, and still be able to like get your picks in the first round, because there's a lot of teams that's a little bit later in the draft that want to move up. So I'm just saying that they're gonna get a lot of phone calls for that number one pick. And let's just hope that they pull a Jamonte the God. And they're willing to trade it all. For those that do not know what Jamonte the God is, you'll meet him sooner or later. But he's a guy that is like, hey, I wanna trade away everything just to get the number one pick. And I would listen. So that's how I feel.
Anything else you want to add, Jalen?
What was the question again?
Urban Meyer and the Jacksonville Jaguars have the first pick of the 2021 draft. They also have the 25th pick of the first round as well.
Well, it tells me this. Trevor Lawrence going number one no matter what. They not trading down no matter what. Urban Meyer once said Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback he's ever seen. I said that about what? Not a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. Maybe it might have been Trevor Lawrence sophomore year, so maybe it was a year ago. It doesn't tell me that much. It tells me that they believe Trevor Lawrence is the guy, and I'm seeing reports saying that like no matter what, Urban Meyer and the Jags are going to pick Trevor Lawrence. But yeah, I mean that's all it's telling me. It's telling me that they think they got the quarterback of the future, but we don't know how that's going to turn out. It could turn out how was it 2014 when Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota both got drafted and both haven't panned out yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Could turn out like that, or it could turn out to where I don't know where. What was that quarterback year? Big Ben, was it Big Ben, Eli, and Phillip Rivers?
Yep.
Yeah, or could turn out like that year. So, but they're 100% sold on Trevor Lawrence.
Question for both of y'all before we get out of here. If the Houston Texans call you and say, "Hey, we'll give you the shine for Trevor," I know y'all in the same division. I know we're in the same division, but we'll give you the number one pick. You can have Deshaun Watson, and we get Trevor Lawrence, and we'll give you some other picks too. Would you take it?
Who's trading the picks again? So you said the Jaguars are trading the number one pick and some more picks, or were that the Texans?
The Texans. Let's say we meet them in the middle. So let's say like the Texans say, "Hey, we'll give you Deshaun Watson. Jacksonville, you give us your 24th pick, and a couple of third rounders later on. Would you take it?
If I'm the Jaguars, I say yes, just because you ask me, you never know how good Trevor Lawrence could be. Trevor Lawrence could turn out to be the next Ryan Leaf, the next Jamarcus Russell. We never know. While we know Deshaun Watson is a sure thing. So, I mean, that's all I gotta say about that question.
That's my point and why you would trade down. Because they're gonna be getting all types of crazy offers, but we'll see when it comes to draft night.
Alrighty, anything else y'all want to add?
Oh yeah, I got hey Siri, can you send the edible arrangements to Kevin King, and a note card to check on him to see if he's okay? Because I know Buddy is going through it right now.
Hey man, shout out to Kelvin. I said I'm calling the kid the wrong name now. Shout out to Kevin King. This will be up past your bedtime though. Moonvibes, you can go ahead and take us home.
Hey, you just got done listening to the pilot episode of Read and React. We look forward to giving you more episodes. Check out our podcast. Make sure you leave a rating because it really does help. Tell a friend and tell a friend about the movement that's going on over here. Make sure you tune in to R1P and all the moves that we're making. Podcast coming out. Also, another shameless plug. Check out Leverett Analytics that just dropped today as well by Leverett KT. You can follow Jalen at Jalen_Wilson on Twitter. Also, you can follow me at Super Moonvibes on Twitter, Leverett KT at Leverett KT on Twitter. That's where you can interact with us. We love to interact and engage with y'all. And if you don't know, R1P is taking over, man. This is only the beginning. I look forward to having more episodes with you guys. And here's to like 200 episodes. We trying to get there like with Joe Budden, right? We need Spotify and the titles. We need the title deals and all that type of stuff. The big money. Show me the money. I'm just playing. Hey, we send y'all off into the night or the day or whenever y'all listening to this podcast. Be safe, stay quarantine clean, do something nice for somebody you normally wouldn't do. And make sure you leave a rating. It really does help.